Hello and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm so glad that you could join us today. This is all about a season of being grateful. I've been saying that all year long, that it's being grateful for what God has given you, what has been transpiring in your lives, what you look around and you see what you have and maybe what you don't have, but just being grateful for everything. So again, thank you for joining the show. This is Talk with Tammy. So it looks like once a month, I'm going to be doing Talk with Tammy. And what that is just finding out what's interesting that I have done, what I'm doing, and what things mean to me. And so you have an opportunity to ask me those questions. And I got a lot of questions. So I want to thank you all for that. So remember, it's about Talk with Tammy. It's about being grateful. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. We'll be right back.
The Cecil Williams South Carolina Civil Rights Museum is the Palmetto State's first and only museum. It honors a generation of people, black and white, throughout the state of South Carolina who deserve to be remembered for their unselfish commitments and sacrifices. Enjoy an immersive and entertaining virtual tour. For more information, visit www.cecilwilliams.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley of The Michael Finkley Show, and you're watching Gold right now. Why? You're watching The Tammy Show. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. Listen, I want to thank Michael Finkley, the Grammy Award nominee for this coming up on these Grammys. So we want to congratulate him and praying for him. We know that God does all things well. And so, again, congratulations, Michael. This is Talk with Tammy. A lot of people have asked me and said, hey, tell us about Tammy. What is it about you? What have you done? What are you doing? And so I'm not going to stick with just that. This is the holiday season, folks, and we've got to get ready for it no matter what. We're already in it. Today is the beginning of December. This will be December the 5th. And yes, that means it's 20 days away from what everybody knows as Christmas. I say Christmas. It's all about Jesus and the birth of Jesus. And so I don't want us to lose sight of that. As a matter of fact, Jesus was not born on the 25th. That is what Anglo-Saxons have made us to believe. And so anyway, I'm not going to get into a theological discussion about it, but I do want you to know that it is important and it is something that we should celebrate. This is a time of season where people are suffering. We have some folks that have lost loved ones, and it's hard for them right now. So I'm going to start with some of the questions. I want to talk about the holiday season. So I have, what does the holiday season mean to you personally? So for me, the holiday season means that it's time for me to start to rewind, get ready for the new year. But more importantly, it's a time for me to give back. It's a time for me to spend that quality time with my family and friends. It's time for me to think about what I can do and how I can make a difference during this holiday season. So, people have asked about, well, if you see somebody on the road, do you give them money? What do you do? I tell people all the time, you never know. We're entertaining angels each and every day. And so, yes, I know some people are afraid, but I've taken the philosophy that if I have, I'm going to give it. I'm going to share it. I'm not going to tell you all that I've done because I have done a lot. And it really is not about me. It's about what we can do to help others. And so I hope that holiday season for you means something special other than giving toys and being in the moment and decorating and dressing up and all those types of things. But personally, it means giving back for me. And so the next question says, how have your holiday traditions evolved over the years? Well, they have, because I've seen myself grow. In growing, when I say that, I've seen myself go from making sure that the Christmas tree is right, making sure that the angel is on top of the Christmas tree. And of course, it's a black angel. So, I'm going to say it. Making sure that everything is perfect. I know it can't be, but I always wanted to make sure that everything was fine and that everybody enjoyed the holiday and that, yes, I cooked the meals. So over the years, the tradition has changed. I no longer do the turkey and all. Yes, I still have my macaroni. Yes, I still have my collard greens without pork. Yes, but I do seafood. That's during Thanksgiving and Christmas, as I've said to you before. And so those traditions have changed, as well as also making sure that I give back during the holidays. That's something that I've always done since a child. I know that I might have shared that story with you about when I was 3 years old, how I gave up my toys to go to Jenkins Orphanage at the time. And my daddy and I did that. And, my dad was Dr. Turner McCautry. He was an alpha man. That was a tradition that the alphas did for a long time. And when the alphas kind of slowed down with it, my father and I continued that. And I told you I'm adopted from birth. So that was one way that I could give back. That was one way that I could understand what it meant to have someone love you unconditionally and you be a part of that family. And so that's why that when you say how the holiday traditions have evolved over the years, that's how it's been. Is there a holiday memory from your childhood that stands out? Yes, it is. When I tell you all, I love to tell stories. So let me tell you this. My mother, Dr. Catherine McCarthy, was not a cook. Now, her dish that she could make, believe it or not, was a ham. After she fussed with us about, you can't have all this pork. But that was the one thing that she really, really know how to cook well, was a ham. This particular Christmas, she decided that she wanted to bake. Of course, we're playing and with the toys and doing all these types of things. She decided she wanted to bake 2-pound cakes. She put them in the oven. Well, my mother, in her infinite wisdom, was not a baker. When she decided, the bell went off, ting, guess what happened, y'all? The cake fell and the oven door fell off at the same time. But when I tell you, we hooped and we hollered in that house, it was truly a time. That stood out because everybody was in the house and everybody had a chance to say, "No, Catherine, the oven door fell off. That's not a good sign. Oh boy, what we gonna do now?" But what we ended up doing was taking it to our neighbors who we loved dearly, the Simses, and Mrs. Gladys Sims, who was the baker, happened to have a couple of cakes that she made, and she gave them to us. And she said, "Well, I try to revive these, but I don't think they're gonna make it. I think they're gone, Doc." And so anyway, that was the one of the Christmases. I have a lot of holiday memories. Families together, eating, cooking with this Easy Baker oven. I don't know if you all remember that. And I had my little Easy Baker oven, and I was just cooking in my Easy Baker oven. For those of you that are too young to remember Easy Baker oven, that's one of those little ovens, and you could actually, it had a light, and so it would bake things. Seriously. And it was a toy that you could put in your house, your toy house, if you had a toy house. And so when I say special, all of them were special because I spent time with my family. My mother and father, my brother, and my Aunt Cindy, and all. I mean, just when I tell you, food galore. And then I learned how to cook, so that made it even special. How do you find meaning in the holidays beyond the commercial aspects? Well, again, I'm going back to giving back. That's how I find meaning. It's not for me now. It's not about the toys. It's not about the shopping. It's about what I can do to help someone along the way. Yes, giving to my family, giving to my friends and all, even to that point, it's about making sure that there's someone out there that needs a hand up. Not so much a handout, but a hand up, and how we can do that. For you, what is the most important part of the holiday season? Is it spending time with family, giving back, or something else? I'm going to say all of the above. Spending time with family, because now you have an opportunity to really let those family members know how much you care about them. And just life is too short. We don't know what's going to happen. Aunt Cindy is 101 years old. Her birthday is December the 27th. She'll be 102. And so I plan to spend that time with her and the family if we go to Atlanta, or if we're in Columbia, but spending that time with her on her birthday. My godmother's birthday is also on the 27th. She's in Atlanta. So having time to spend with family and friends. My daughter, Catherine, is in Charlotte. Having time to spend with her. When I say giving back, that means whether I am going to a shelter to feed, or whether I'm just making sure that I tithe, and that tithe would be funding that would help someone along the way, buying a gift for someone who doesn't have as much as I may have. And also, those are the most important parts of the holiday season for me. Now, when we talk about family and relationships, what are some of those favorite family holiday traditions? Well, one of the things is that I said was, we're going to have the macaroni and cheese. You're going to have that big, big dinner, collard greens. Yeah, we'll have the turkey, but we'll also have my crabs. And when I say the crabs, my daughter loves the snow crabs. So I have to go and get those for her and fix those. But if I can find the blue crabs during this time, we'll have the blue crabs as well, and make some garlic crabs, and make some fried crabs, and make some crab casserole. When I tell you, those are the favorite family holiday things. And then when we were in Charleston, what we would do is my daughter and I, we would go to James Island and go to the lights and watch the lights. And so that, again, favorite family holiday traditions. Okay, families and relationships. How do you navigate family dynamics during the holidays, especially when there are differences in traditions or expectations? Well, I tell you what, when it comes to that, I just say you let people be who they are. You don't try to change them. If I have a family member who is Jehovah's Witness, they don't do Christmas at all. So guess what? The kids, we recognize the kids and all of that, but you don't infringe on their beliefs. And so I feel that respect is the most important part of family dynamics when you're talking about, the differences in traditions and or expectations. I have, he's deceased now. We had a family member that get drunk every year and cuss everybody out. Y'all, I'm being transparent because y'all already know y'all got one in your family. Okay. So he would tell everybody else. Then there would be a big argument in the family. Now I'm talking about the older members of the family, of course. And there would be a big argument. But at the end of the day, by the end of the day, everybody was crying. Oh, I love you so much. I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm sorry, sis. But hey, that's what it's all about. You just deal with it and run with it. Y'all got that uncle, Uncle Pookie, or Uncle Baby. That's gonna come in and, hey, I'm here, and tear up everything. But you deal with it the best way you can. And that's with respect. Even though he did that, everybody had respect for him. Okay. And you just kept it moving. I have to let you all know, because my parents were much older than me, most of my relatives are gone. The only person that's living on my daddy's side is my Aunt Cindy. I do have an aunt on my mother's side that was married to my mother's brother, who is now 95 years old, who has dementia. And so when you hear me say aunts and uncles, some that are still with us, like Aunt Julia, I just lost her a few months last month, and sang at her funeral service. She was my mother's best friend. I have my Aunt Joe that was my mother's best friend. So aunts and uncles that you hear me talk about that may still be with us are part of that family extension, the village that raised me. All right, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. I'm going to come back with families and relationships because that's a good one. We'll be right back.
The Orangeburg County Conference Center supports downtown Orangeburg and our surrounding communities. The 6,000 plus square foot space is ideal for groups of up to 400 people attending corporate meetings, conventions, workshops, and special events. Conference Center staff are inspired to ensure that everyone can enjoy the modern amenities. State-of-the-art ballroom that accommodates up to 400 guests banquet style and 430 guests theater style. A warming kitchen with hot boxes, ice machine, refrigerator, freezer, and counter space. A lobby that accommodates 150 guests with special events outdoors. The comfortable outdoor amphitheater has a video wall and seating. Adjacent to the amphitheater is 12,000 plus square feet of green space that extends events outside, plus complimentary on-site event parking and additional parking across the street. Your event can take place all in one spectacular location. We welcome your special event in Orangeburg.
Hey, you're watching The Tammy Show. And remember to keep it cool with me, AC.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you, AC in Atlanta. Okay, if you're just joining us, this is Talk with Tammy, and I am talking about the holiday season because holidays are a special time. That's for everybody, and we're in the midst of it. Listen, we're only 20 days away from Christmas. And I say Christmas because it's all about Jesus Christ. So I'm going to go. The questions are coming from folks that have sent us through our different social media platforms, Facebook and everything, about asking me about, the holiday. What do I think? How do I feel? So families and relationships, I start with that. And there was one that came up that said the holidays can sometimes bring up difficult emotions. How do you manage feelings of grief and loss during this time? Well, I can tell you the first Christmas after my father passed away, because I am a daddy's girl. Everybody knows Dr. Turner McCautry. I am a daddy's girl. Was very difficult for me because my father, as I said, we spent a lot of time together, and we spent our time going to Jenkins Orphanage. But the one thing about it is that I always remember him talking about was, I am always with you. He's in my heart. Anybody that I've lost, they're here. They are in my heart. And so, yes, I do get sad. Yes, I feel those feelings of, oh my God, what am I going to do? That's the first thing I thought about. Even when my mother passed away. My father passed away November 19th. My daughter was 2 years old at the time, and he passed away just before Thanksgiving, just before Christmas. My mother passed away in February the 6th, 3 days after her birthday. And so when I start thinking about those feelings of grief and of loss, I have to revert back to thinking, what would they want me to do? And so I live out what they have done in their lives. And that's being community people and loving people in the community. And sometimes when we keep ourselves in a state, in a place where we are helping others, we kind of forget about ourselves. And if you're making a difference in the lives of others, then guess what? That's all that matters. And so when you ask me that, yeah, it's difficult. Yes, I have a therapist. Yes, I call the therapist. And I'm urging you, if during this time that you're having a difficult time during the holiday season, if you don't have someone to talk to, reach out to someone, even if it's your neighbor, your friend, girlfriend, whatever, but get the professional help that you need. It's nothing wrong with having a therapist, believe me, because grief and loss are very, very difficult. All right. Can you share a story of a time when you felt especially close to someone during the holidays? Well, the time that I felt the closest to someone during the holidays was, again, I have to go back to my father, to my Aunt Cindy. You know, that's the McCautreys, that's family. And how I felt. I felt honored because they are the folks that make up this family tree. They are the elders in the family. And of course, if you ask me a story of a time when I felt especially close to someone during the holidays, of course I say it's my daughter, because I watched her and I've seen her grow through this time, and I'm just proud of her and how she's developed, and so that makes me especially proud, and I love that. All right, we're going to go to giving and gratitude. What does it mean to give during the holiday season? Oh, well, I've talked about that. It means a lot to me. Do you have a particular cause or the way that you give back? Well, sometimes it's not so much the cause, it's about the person or the people. I mean, I've seen homeless people on the street and just said, okay, I got to do something. And right now, being at Jenkins Youth and Family Village, formerly known as Jenkins Orphanage, I that's where my heart is. I mean, we have the summer camp and we have the after school program. And so I want to make sure that these young people that don't have a safe haven, that they have a safe environment where they can come. We're no longer an orphanage, as I said, but providing a safe haven during those times, whether it's for a few hours or whether it's for a day, where they can come and feel loved and feel wanted and learn. Is there a person or group of people you feel especially grateful for this holiday season? And what have they brought into your life? Well, this holiday season, I want to thank my parents, Dr. Turner and Dr. Catherine McCautry, because without them, you would not see me. As I said, I'm adopted from birth. Don't know what would have happened to me. My father actually delivered me, meaning he spanked me when I came out, okay? And without the McCautry family, without having my parents, I don't know where I would be. And so when you say especially grateful for this holiday season, I am, because they gave me life. They gave me the love that they had. And they showed me what it's like to be a giver. They showed me what it's like to be a part of a family that extends itself to the community. That's what they brought to me. My Aunt Cindy, oh my God, what can I say? When I talk about Aunt Cindy, the diva of the family, oh yes, and how she taught me how to host the fabulous parties that my parents always had. But more importantly, now I'm an entertainer, and that's what I love to do. So I got that from her. That's what she brought to my life. But the love that she has for me and all that she's done. My cousins, Smitty and Jocelyn, and my brother and all. Just grateful for having that in my life, having the family. How do you teach the value of gratitude and kindness to others, especially during this time of the year? By example. That's how you can only teach people. You can only show them by example. That's how you teach. That's why we have young kids now where we have to show them by example how we live. If we out there cussing and carrying on and acting crazy, that's how they're going to be. But if we show them that gratitude and that love, that generosity, that's how we hope that they will be. And so that's how I do. Can you share a time when someone's kindness during the holidays truly touched your heart? Wow. Well, all I can say is I've had a number of those where I've had people call me and tell me, thank you, Tammy, for what you've done, or thank you for just being who you are. And that's touched me because if any of you know me, I'm pretty shy, may not act like it, but I am. And I'm pretty much to the point where I can't say, oh, that's me, that's me. I'm like, thank you, thank you. And I've had to learn to say thank you in the name of Jesus, because it's not me that's doing this. It's God that's doing all of this through me. And I'm grateful. You just don't know. I can't say it enough. By me being here, the YouTube channel, having Willie, I mean, this is Ashley. This is just being grateful. God put this together. And I can't forget that. So when you ask me that type of question, you know, someone's kindness that's touched me. A lot of people have touched me through the years, during the holiday and beyond. And so I'm grateful to God. I am grateful to God. All right, so reflections and lessons. The holiday often can cause us to reflect on what we've accomplished and what we hope for in the future. What's something that you're hopeful for in the upcoming year? In the upcoming year, I am hopeful that our country will have peace. I know a lot of you don't think that, but I'm hopeful, and I am very hopeful, because we have a God that sits high and looks low. And I am grateful and thankful and hopeful that we will see peace. And if we don't see it, that we reach for it ourselves. Peace and love. What did Al Green say? Love and happiness. Okay, so we got to remember that. You know, it's all about love. It's all about peace. It's all about giving back. It's all about taking care of your neighbor. Let me tell you something, folks. You all are worried about what just happened in the election. All right, I'm getting on my soap now when you talk about reflection. You all are worried about this election. You're worried about who's going to be in the White House. But I'm going to tell you, there's only one house for me, and that's God's house. Okay? And there are going to be some people that's going to be disappointed. You know why? Because folks like us know how to survive. And that's all I'm going to say. If you get it, then you'll understand it. When we have to come up with creative ideas, especially during this time of year, especially as we're moving into the new year. If I have 2 loaves of bread, I'm going to give somebody a loaf if they call me. If my Aunt Zelda, and I thank God for Aunt Zelda and Uncle George here in Orangeburg, if Aunt Zelda says, hey, I've got a dozen eggs. I said, well, Auntie, I don't need but 5 or 6. You take 6, I take 6. What did I say? Neighbor, it's being important about how you treat your neighbor. So I'm hopeful that we're going to help each other during this holiday season and in this upcoming year. Remember that there are creative ways that we can help each other. And our folks been doing it for years, okay? When we talk about community and togetherness, in what ways do you think the holiday season brings out the best in people? I think it does, because people are excited. It's time for people to start relaxing. And then some people do the reflections. They sit back and they say, okay, this is the time that I'm going to write. And this is the time that I do this, y'all. At the end of the year, I start thinking about, okay, what is it that I want to see for next year? And what is it that happened in the past that I can change or that I can learn from? What is it that I'm going to glean from? And that's what I think is bringing out the best in people at this time. And then, of course, we got some folks that it's not going to make a difference anyway. Okay. All right. When we talk about when I talk about the spirits of joy, it says, how do you cultivate joy in this life during the sometimes chaotic holiday season? What brings me joy is to see everybody else smile. When I'm smiling, everybody else is smiling. When I say hi, instead of frowning, and I'm happy. I'm happy. What's a holiday tradition that always brings you comfort and peace? Holiday tradition that brings me comfort and peace is spending that time with quality time with my daughter. That brings me comfort and peace, and knowing that she's okay. What do you wish more people would focus on during the holidays, especially when things can feel stressful or overwhelming? I feel that you should focus on love, focus on your family, focus on what you can do to make a difference in this world, in this community. All right, now listen, all these questions, I love them, and I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Talk with Tammy, and let me tell you what, I'm excited. I am excited because a new year is upon us, 2025. We're going to soon say goodbye to 2024. But before we say goodbye to 2024, I want you to get yourself ready. Peace, love, joy, happiness, and have those spirits within you, and share what God has blessed you with, because he's blessed us with a whole lot, and we got to say thank you for that. And so I want to thank you. This is the end of Talk with Tammy. If you have any more questions, please go to email us at info@tammymccotry.com. We're always looking to hear from you about different stories, about people out there that are doing some extraordinary things, just ordinary people who love to tell their stories. And so I love to hear from you. And I want to thank you, as always, for tuning in to Tammy right here on the YouTube channel. That's the Tammy TV Show YouTube channel. I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to my associate producer, Mr. Willie. Willie, man, thank you so much for always being who you are and the sweet spirit that you are. And Ashley, I have to thank you as well, because without Ashley, let me tell you, some of these graphics and things that you see in the social media, that's Willie and Ashley. That's all I can say. So I want to thank them as well. All right. And thank you for always tuning in to Tammy. Again, you can go to our YouTube channel. That's the Tammy TV Show YouTube channel, and you have to put it in as the Tammy TV Show YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Hit that red button, and it will notify you as to when the show will air. And I look forward to seeing you. I want you to remember this. Let's be a blessing to somebody today and every day. Call that neighbor up. Call that family member up. Say, I love you. And whatever you can do, remember, peace, joy, and love. And listen, I'm going to do that. Woo! Okay. So that's peace, love, and joy. I love you all. Have a blessed week. Many blessings, and thank you again for joining the show. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.